What's up, guys? It is time for video number 3. Let's do this. Today we are going to talk about methods. Calling methods, what are methods, what do they do, what are they used for, the whole kit and caboodle. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and load up Visual Studio here. Let me rearrange my screen a little bit because it's kind of not organized at the moment. Probably should have done that beforehand, but oh well. There we are. Alright, now to Visual Studio. Alright, so first things first, we're going to do like we always do, we're going to create a new project. And this project is going to be a console app, and this is going to be our method. If I could type. Method tutorial. Now, you'll hear them called method, and you'll be hearing them called functions. Those two are interchangeable. They're basically the exact same thing. I tend to call them methods just because I think a function is more along the lines of web-based coding, JavaScript, stuff like that. Okay, so, as we know, this is a namespace, this is a class, this is a method, this static void main. So if we were to make another method down here, let's just say we're going to make it a public. Methods are just like variables. They can be public, private, or protected. And based on their scope, it tells you who can call them and where they can be called from, stuff like that. But for the scope of this tutorial, we're just going to use public, make it easier. And then it's going to be our return type, which we're going to make void. Void means we don't expect this method to return anything. I'm going to go through the return types later so you can see what they do. But we'll just start with void. And we're going to say method test. Now inside these parentheses, you can pass values to it. Say if we wanted to pass a number. That means this method, when we call it, can receive a number, and we can use that number inside of here. So say if our number equals so-and-so, then do something. But anyway, we're not going to do that yet. We'll get into that in a few minutes. So right now we just have method test, and we're going to do console.writeLine. I got called from the method. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's got to be static because of the stupid static void main class. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to call method test just like that. Okay, so what's going to happen is, as we know from our earlier tutorials, anything inside of our main method is what gets called when you launch a console application. So what's going to happen is we're going to come in here, there's nothing to do, we're going to call method test. So when method test gets called, it's going to basically execute everything inside of this function, or inside of this method. So we're going to put a wait timer down here so you can see it. And we're going to do our usual 10 seconds. And when we run it, it's got to build. It's slow. I got called from the method. See there? Alright, that's how methods work in a nutshell. That's the simplest form about it. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to do our variable passing. We're going to pass a variable into this method, and we're going to call it 11. Because, as you know, 11 is my favorite number. Call me weird, I don't care. I got called from the method. Our number variable is... Nope. Okay, so string concatenation. Should have probably went over this with data types, but it's a little bit advanced, that's why I didn't go over it. So anytime you have a string, console.writeLine can accept a string. When you do plus and you pass another variable type to it, it basically just joins the two together and makes them one. So right now, if I write this out, it's going to say I got called from the method. Our number variable is 11 because we're passing it 11. See? Our number variable is 11. Because what we're doing is we're using this number that we're taking in and we're using it inside the method. So that's basically it. You can do this with all different types of data types. Let's see, bool value. There we go, value. So as we know, Boolean's default value is false. So our bool value equals, this should come up false. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, we're still passing a number. So if we call method test and we're passing in false, value is going to be false. So value should equal false. Our value equals false. And if we were to change this to true, our value equals true. And it's the same thing. You can do it. You can do it with as many as you want to go with. There's no limit to how many variables you can pass. I would highly suggest not trying to throw 1,000 variables at it because it gets confusing really fast. But yeah, if you want to do it, you can. It's up to you. Anyway, so let's do this. Number equals 11. Our string equals pass from the main method. So our bool value equals that. Our value equals, I spelled number wrong, didn't I? Yep, number. Number. Our string value equals test string. Alright, so let me fix something real quick. I like doing comma delimiting, so there we go. I got called from the method. Our bool value is true, our number value is 11, and our string value is passed from the main method. See? True, 11, passed from the main method. Okay. Let's do return types. So we're going to do public, and we're going to return a Boolean. Public. That's going to be your most hated typo. Public Boolean get value. And we're not going to pass it any arguments right now because we don't need to. And then it's going to say, and we're just going to return. Return means this is what value you're sending back. So we're going to return true. There we go. So let's do this. Let's get rid of these. It's case sensitive, and yes, I remember I didn't set it to static. Alright, so we're gonna make a new boolean. New bool equals, and we're gonna set it equal to get value. See, what this is gonna do is this new value, we're gonna do right line bool value equals, yeah, you always remember your freaking those thingies. Quotes, that's it. Yeah, quotes. Couldn't remember for a second there. Alright, so what we're going to do is this new bool, as soon as it hits this line, it's going to hit this method. It's going to go down into this method, and it's going to find out whatever its return value is. So since we're returning true, this new boolean is going to be set to true. See? New bool value equals true. If we change this to false, our bool value equals false. And it can get really convoluted with if statements and everything. We can go say if we'll pass something to here. int number. If number is greater than 11, then we want to create a new variable, and we're going to call it our result. And if our number is greater than 11, then our result equals true. Else, result equal false. And then we want to return result. All right, whenever you have a return, whenever your method that you're calling has a return type, if you choose to return a variable like we're doing here, the variable data type has to match the method data type. You see, this is a bool and this is a bool. They have to match, otherwise it's going to throw an error. So if I try to return number without a typo, see the error is cannot convert int to bool because this is an integer value and it's trying to return a boolean. So there we go. Return result. All right, so we want to pass our number of 10. And 10 should fall in the else. If you remember last week's tutorial on if statements, since this is 10, it's not going to hit the if statement check, so it's going to fall to the else, so result should equal false. And bool value equals false. All right, so if we pass 12, it should now be true. Bool value is true. That's how that works. And basically you can do this with booleans, int strings. You can do it with any data type. You can even do it with separate classes, but that's something we'll go over in a future tutorial, setting different classes, because I don't think we're quite there yet. Actually, maybe the next tutorial or the one after that. But yeah, you can set this return type to a class type. So if we had another class that just basically had a bunch of variables in it, we could set it equal to that. And if you don't understand that, I apologize for rambling on. Just ignore that part because we'll get to it in the future. Anyway, that's about it with methods. Methods are pretty self-explanatory. This is going to be, like I said, this is going to be a pretty quick video this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover in methods. I can't think of anything else that I need to cover. Oh, default values. Yes. Okay, so say we have int number, and we're going to set its default value equal to 1. So basically, if we don't get a value passed here, notice how we're not getting an error anymore. When it's expecting number, but we're not giving it a number, we're no longer getting an error, because what this does, if you put a default value there, if you don't get a number passed with the method, it's going to take this value by default. So we're less than 11 right now, so our bool value equals false, because even though we're not passing one, it's setting number equal to 1. So we're hitting here. But if our number equals 12, now we're true because we're greater than 11. And default values, once again, can be used on any data type that's there. It doesn't matter. Number is just the easiest one to work with. So that's the one I chose for the tutorial. Anyway, I think that's about it. Let me do one more quick run through and make sure we covered everything. Return types can return numbers. You have your scope here, public, protected, private. We're using static only because we have to, because of the static main class. There's a way around that. I just can't remember it right now, and I don't want to confuse you guys. So we're just going to, for simplicity's sake, leave it as static. Let's see, we have argument passing. When you pass variables in your parentheses inside the method, it's called arguments. That's why you hear me using that word. So we covered argument passing, we covered default values, we covered return types, we covered calling methods, creating methods. Yeah, I think that's about it. Alright guys, that was a quick video this week. Like I said, I knew it was going to be short. Next week, or not next week, but Friday, I'm still trying to think of the topic I want to cover. We might actually go over classes Friday. Classes would be the logical step forward after methods. So yeah, I think we'll go over classes. And that video will be dropping Friday. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm surprised myself with how quick this video was. Anyway, it's only 2:05, so if you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe, it'll really help me out. If you want to see the videos, if you want to see more videos in the future, if you want to see some of the advanced tutorials, if you want to get early access, make sure you hit my Patreon. You can subscribe there. We have 4 different tiers you can do: $1, $5, 10, 20. Each one of them comes with different rewards like early access, access to the source code from the files, stuff like that. It'll really help me out if you guys want to do that. It doesn't matter what you tend to support or what you can afford. Any support will be appreciated. I really mean that. I'll give you shout outs to my videos. I'll appreciate it. Anyway, that'll be it. I will see you guys Friday. I do my gaming live streams. Look for me every day at 11, and then I tend to do some at night around 9:30 after the kids go to bed. But yeah, I think that's about it. Our next advanced class will come next Wednesday. This Wednesday we're not doing one. We're doing one every other Wednesday, so we're off this Wednesday, and that's about it. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. And that's about it. See you guys later. Peace.